Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over. And surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. And I've seen a couple of things. Let's have a fruity section this morning. So last week, after Dr. Bawumia spoke, I asked a question. I said, will Dr. Bawumia, since he started distancing himself from the stuff that President Akufo-Addo had done, will Dr. Bawumia, for example, continue with a project like the Cathedral? And I gave you a background that it was President Akufo-Addo's personal pledge to God that if you give me a second term, God, I will build you a cathedral. Suddenly, it became a national cathedral. When we said we're not going to vote resources of the state into it, it was going to be done privately. We put them on USSD code, everything else, a short code. Eventually, we started pumping in state resources, land, money, everything, if some even without parliamentary approval. So we're building a house of God on a foundation of lies. And it was being supervised by our president because he had made a personal pledge to God. And come what may, whatever before, he had to do it. Cathedral, he said that. Now, Dr. Bawumia comes to distance himself from e-levy, from emissions tax, and betting tax, and some others. And I've seen people now explaining English with English, as they've been doing for President Akufo-Addo. They are now explaining English with English. It puts Dr. Bawumia in the same light. So I asked a simple question. Would Dr. Bawumia continue with the National Cathedral project, as we have now been forced to accept that is a National Cathedral project? Now, here's Mr. Ken Ofori Tax. He says the National Cathedral will be commissioned on March 6, 2024. Ken Ofori. Do you honestly think that if the people in La, who are waiting for their La General Hospital to be constructed for them, if they see this, they will be happy? Do you honestly think that all those who are waiting eagerly for Agenda 111, for even one of Agenda 111 to be completed, when they see this, they will be happy? Do you honestly think that those who have been asking and waiting for their portion of the road, or good roads, a year of roads, another year of roads, second year of roads, then they see this, they will be happy? It tells you the preoccupation of the government. National Cathedral will be commissioned on the 6th of March 2024. A country that is broke, a country that has run itself economically reckless, a country that is literally begging IMF. After this same Ofori tax told us that we are a proud nation, we will not go to the IMF. This grand architect of a Joshua and Caleb economy, he's telling you that he will vote more resources into the National Cathedral for it to be commissioned. I am an Anglican. We have cathedrals across the country and across the world. What is the preoccupation of building a cathedral? When you finish building a cathedral, will the people be able to go and worship in it if they are not alive and well, healthy and happy? You broke down a hospital that was solving the problem of people in Teshi and Nungwa and Labadi and Osu and other places. Right. Today, go and check. The pressure is on Lekma. The pressure is on 37. The pressure is on Lister. Because you broke down a hospital and you told the people that the money was ready to go and construct the hospital. You lied. And your Minister of Health is still at stake, is still at post. Ken Ofori will have the bravery to say these things because he knows his cousin will not sack him. We are busy doing memorial service for J.B. Dankwa more than 50 years after he died. And the people of La, whose hospital has been demolished, they do not know when the hospital will be built. They're telling them that the National Cathedral will be commissioned on 6th March 2024. If you are, my father was a builder. If you know anything about building, what is there now, that foundation, the biggest hole that is there now, and what we have, there's no way you can say there's no way. We are in February. We're in February. We're in February. The jokes must stop. Ghanaians are being taken advantage of, and there's too many jokes that are being peddled here. Somebody comes to speak to us in English, sweating like a pregnant fish. And then when the person finishes, we have other respected citizens of the country come to explain to us in English what the person is supposed to have said. Are we joking? It is bad to sell a bad product. It's difficult. When you're selling a bad product to a prospective client who is very vigilant, it is bad. A bad product. If you like, go to Circle. Try and sell a bad product to a vigilant client who knows Accra very well. It is bad, it's difficult, it's hard. It's hard. And you see, people are not talking about, put the old Facebook post up there, 2014.
Johnny's Bite.
People are not re-engineering new things, so they are just playing back the things that Dr. Bawumia himself said. That's all people are doing. So in 2014, 25th March, he said cumulatively, between 1965, when the cedi traded at 1 cedi 4 pesos to $1, and March 21, 2014, when it is trading at 2 cedis per 63 pesos, that's 26,326 to $1. The cedi has lost 99.99999 recurring percentage of its value relative to the US dollar. The rate of depreciation of the cedi against the US dollar in 2014 has been at an unusual fast pace. The cumulative depreciation in 2013 was 14.5%. In the first quarter of this year, it has already depreciated by 16% so far. For a small open economy like Ghana, this trend is worrying because these massive depreciations in the currency end up increasing the cost of living and the cost of doing business. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Restoring the Value of the cedi lecture, 25th of March 2014. This was what Dr. Bawumia said. Put this question to Dr. Bawumia today. Ask him how the cedi has depreciated. And ask him if this same theory, it was true then, but it is true now, but then if it will be warp logic, all those things that he says. How much has the cedi depreciated? Before the dollar, before the pound, before the euro? Was it not Dr. Bawumia who said he had arrested the dollar and given the key to IGP Apietu? Is the dollar now a fugitive? Did it break jail? Nobody is saying, reinventing things. So it is the things that Dr. Bawumia said in order to gain power. Today he wants to own power again. We should play these things to him and ask him how he feels. He said this. You see how he put it? He even went so low to the point that 2 cedis 63 pesos, he wrote it in the old cedi when he had supervised the redenomination of the cedi. The value is the same. He is the man. He supervised the redenomination of the cedi. President Kufuor said it. He knows it. The records of the Bank of Ghana are there. He knows it. But he stooped low to put 26,326 Ghana cedis. Today, if you ask him now, it will be a problem. And people are mentioning Professor Opokwe Nina's name, running mate, Napo, Eslowusu, Oseche Mensabonsu. Play the video of Dr. Bawumia telling us what the role of the running mate is and whether or not the running mate will be beneficial or functional if the flag bearer is useless. Play for me.
Johnny's Bite.
The best running mate in the world would not make a difference if the president is indecisive or incompetent.
So what is Dr. Bawumia saying? Was his boss indecisive? Was he incompetent? Was he? No, this was said some time ago. But it is relevant now. Like what President Akufo-Addo said during the primaries, right? That if you rubbish the achievements of the Akufo-Addo government and then you are elected flag bearer, what would you be saying to the people? The people would not be so gullible. The president said it. And I'm saying we just do the throwbacks now because the things that Dr. Bawumia said that no matter how good the running mate is, if the president is indecisive or incompetent, it will come back to bite. So now, the CD to dollar, inflation, all those things. And I told you last week that we are blaming Russia and Ukraine for all our woes. But banks in Russia, they are declaring profit in billions of dollars. The people who are fighting. So what are you crying over? What exactly are you crying over? Basic questions. Dr. Bawumia must submit himself to the press to ask him questions. He should not behave like his boss who has failed to meet the press since 2019. He should submit himself to the press to ask him questions. And they should not repeat what they did in 2019 by preventing. So we went there as Media General. 3FM, TV3, Onia FM, Onia TV, Connect FM, Akuma FM, 3news.com. 8 people, we went there. None of us was given the opportunity to ask the question. When we finished, Kojo Bonkroma came to our cocktail table and said, oh, sometimes these things happen. He came there. I was there with Bright Nanamfo, Winston Amo at the time he was here, Alfredo Kanse, Bright Asempa. We were there at that table. He came to tell us. Our own colleague. Our own colleague. Meanwhile, some media houses were giving, so I remember Star FM, 2 people were giving from Star, plenty. Even General Kutu Achampong, who President Akufo-Addo led demonstrations against in this country, even him, as a military leader, he met the press. A democratic leader, a human rights lawyer, whose press index record has been dipping since forever, since he came on the throne. He doesn't want to meet the press. When you say, they say, why are you talking about it? Look,